As with everything else, I'm just an autism mom and a life coach, right? The information and all information in my workshops are not intended to serve as a substitute for a consultation with medical and behavioral professionals. Only qualified professionals who know and work with a child on an ongoing basis can adequately assess and supervise a child's program. I always recommend including a board-certified behavior analyst on a client or child's team. This is especially important if the child is in danger of hurting themselves or others. So you want to make sure you're on everything I suggest by your therapist, by your pediatrician, and let's get cracking. Let's get crapping. Well, literally, let's get crapping in the toilet, but let's get cracking. Okay. So why is potty training so important? And this is what I call the big three. I have this philosophy that if our children on the spectrum have 3 life skills, their chances of a life of independence increase greatly. And these are what I call the big 3. The first skill they need is to be able to communicate. And I'm not necessarily talking about the verbal word. I'm talking about basic communication skills, although verbal word is where I want to head with it, right? The second is problem behavior at 0 or close to 0, so they can sit and attend at school and learn. And sit and attend with you and learn at home as well. And the third is what we're all here tonight for, potty training. And it's so interesting, my journey with potty training wasn't really, buttercups and butterflies and all that shit. I almost wish I could do it over because I was like legit a potty shit show. I'll tell you more about that tonight. But one of the things about potty training is that it's a foundational skill of independence, and it's a rite of passage from baby to child. And when that doesn't happen for us, it fucks with our brain. And it really could set us back. Then the effects of a child not having it, it could stop them from going to camps. It could stop them from social experiences. I was talking to a mother where it affected the child's ability to have sleepovers. He wants to sleep over with his friends, but he poops in a diaper, right? So we want to look at the necessity of this, not just from I don't want to change diapers anymore and they're getting too old or whatever, but the necessity of if this is one of the missing pieces to them having a chance at independent life, it's got to be a priority for you to fix it. Okay. So what I want to know, and I'm going to pull up the chat right now, is I want to know, what have you tried to potty train your child? So if everyone in the chat could interact with me tonight. Normally I don't do a lot of interaction, but I want to do it tonight. Everybody in the chat, tell me, what have you tried so far to potty train your child? You can put it in the Q&A or the chat. I've tried everything. Okay, that's an interesting thought. We're going to talk about that today. Charts, stickers, timer, prize. I've done all those too. No pressure sitting on the potty, letting her sit on the potty with her iPad, naked in the backyard. I did that with my son. Rewards, potty chart, encouragement, potty rewards, timers. I tried to put my little one in underwear. We camped out by the bathroom. We put him in underwear and took him every 20 minutes. Wow, you guys have tried a lot of stuff. Camper toilet, taking them repeatedly, timing, cheering, wearing underwear, sitting on the toilet, nothing. And I have no idea where to start. No problem, Alexandra, we got you. My daughter tries potty training, gives up, prizes, high fives, cheering. Okay. Now I want you to think, you guys have done a lot of stuff here. I love it. Oops, where am I? Why do you think what you tried hasn't worked? So if everybody who's tried everything, rewards, timers, sticker charts, taking them at set intervals, I want to know why you think it hasn't worked. She doesn't understand. He holds his pee. He holds his pee forever, meaning he holds his pee until you put the pull-up back on. All of the above, because my kid is stubborn, that they don't understand. Okay, you get frustrated. Consistency. All right, Karen Jackson, it's a really interesting question. Really interesting comment, consistency. I'm just going to write down a few of these because I want to address these tonight. Consistency. They were not ready. Sensory problems. My child doesn't care. They don't know who they need to go. Consistency. Let's see. I think she doesn't understand, is lack of understanding. That's our number one, it seems so far. My patience and endurance to consistency, not understanding, stubborn, not interested, not ready. No acting as if it's no pressure. My son, it's familiar and comfortable with the potty. Freaking stubborn kid. Yeah. We got some stubborn ones in here tonight. We're not consistent as the adult. We're not consistent across environments. She holds it till the pull-up goes on. Doesn't understand when the feeling comes, almost like it doesn't click, right? My daughter is super scared. She's scared of the potty. Got it. Have not found a reward that'll do it. Scared of the toilet. I just want to read these all to you. Scared of her poop. My child wants to be in charge. I love it. You got a boy king or a girl king, or girl queen in training over there. He's not ready. My situation is different. I'm a caregiver. Once I've had the baby since baby's number, we're gonna sit him on the potty. He'll pee for hours. Out, holds the pee until the pull-up goes on. He sits, he lets me know his pee is briefs and clean, then helps clean up, but won't do it in the toilet. Seems to be scared. Too active, won't sit. Okay, son holds his pee until the pull-up's on. Okay, so let me ask you another follow-up question. For the people who wrote consistency, I'm not being consistent, and that's why this isn't happening. So we're just doing an experiment tonight. I've never do a workshop so interactive, but I love this. For those of you who feel like consistency is the reason why potty training isn't done, why wouldn't you be more consistent then? Right? If you know that the key to potty training, if you believe that why it hasn't worked is because you're not consistent, then why haven't you been consistent then? Because then that's just an easy fix. If you think that's what that's what you need to get potty training done, why haven't you done it? Because I feel like he isn't even getting it. Okay. My daughter's on a 70-mile routine because I have a 2-year-old and a small business and I need to find balance. I hear you. I just revert to what's easy. I get frustrated real quick and stop. Difficult being consistent because I have my own struggles. Being a single mama with ADHD. Okay. So now for all of you who said that, I want to know, listen, if I told you, like you could buy it off a shelf, right? You could buy the potty training off a shelf and it sits in your house for 2 weeks. And all you have to do is be consistent for 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, your child would be potty trained. Could you be consistent for 2 weeks? Write it in the chat. If one of your things is that, yes, all right, yes, I love it. More, yes, fucking A, yes. yes, of course. All right, yes, this is really interesting. We're going to talk a lot about this tonight. I appreciate all the answers. I love it. Yes. All right, amazing. I don't think, by the way, I'm not saying that it's going to take 2 weeks for all children. All children are going to be different, but you're going to learn our secrets tonight, that we have a 100% success rate for potty training in the masterclass. And the reason that is what we're going to share with you tonight. So I'm giving you all the tips and tricks and secrets to getting any child with autism potty trained. I don't care where they are on the spectrum. Most of the kids that we train in the masterclass are pre-verbal, okay? And adults as well, all right? And this is Juliana, and I want to share with you my potty shit show experience with her. I went from like potty shit show to potty whisperer over the matter of a couple of years. And what happened with Juliana, she was my first. Autism came and it was like, okay, I don't know shit about that. And you know, she's my first, right? So this is my first experience potty training. So for whatever reason in my head, I was like, okay, it's time for her to potty train. I buy the underwear. I say, okay, let's go. And she immediately starts having accidents. And then I start flipping the fuck out. And by the way, I curse. This is just, I'm spirited. So if that's a problem, I apologize. Maybe I'm not your coach, but I'm just going to give it to you like I lived it, right? So I was so mad. Every time she'd have an accident, I'd flip the fuck out. She'd get scared. I'm pissed. I'd punch the wall. I'd get really like aggressive about it. And it just kept happening. And I felt like I was doing all the things. I read books. I followed videos. I tried to do everything. I was so mad. Like she'd piss on the floor. She'd piss on the couch. I'd have her sit and then she'd get back up. And as soon as she'd get back up, she'd piss again on the floor. I could never get over like how difficult this felt. It felt so white knuckle to me. And then in the throes of all of this potty craziness, I had my mother come over and I had to work in the office. I said, do me a favor. Can you just watch her, put her on there every 15, 20 minutes? I'm defeated at this point. I could give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't even know if this is ever going to happen. Right. Can you just put her on it and you know, whatever. Right. So she says, no problem. So about 30 minutes in, I hear my mom, which is so funny how our moms are like fabulous now. But when when I was a child, my mother was a crazy lady. But anyway, so I hear my mom say to her, uh-oh, you peed on the floor. Let's just go clean up. And I remember like, what? This isn't a big deal? Like, what do you mean you're not freaking out right now? You're gonna have to clean up shit with her on the floor. This is what potty training is supposed to look like. It's gonna have messes. And I think that had I taken my mom's approach, Juliana would have potty trained a lot faster than she did. And that was one of the first lessons I learned in this, is that I was making this very difficult because I had some type of fucking expectation that this was just going to be potty perfection, meaning she was just going to put the underwear on and just know how to do it, right? And not understanding that potty training is just like any new skill. They're not going to get it right at first, and that's okay. We just need to take our time and get and have patience, something I was terrible at back then. And just watching my mother be like, oh, okay. She did it a couple times that day, and she actually got her to go a few times. But I wonder, like, now I look back on that, I was like, shit, I wish I could have a potty do-over, because I made that experience so shitty. I used to describe it as the worst part of parenting. And now I think like, oh my gosh, the way we experience it in the master class is nothing like that. I want this to be a potty experience. Like, it could be as wonderful as teaching them how to ride a bike, how to pump on a swing. But I made it the experience that it was, and that's the exact result that I had. So I don't want you guys to have that either. That's why I'm doing this tonight. That's why I do the masterclass. So potty secret number 1 for all of you tonight. Most, if not all, children on the spectrum, no matter how severe their autism symptoms present, can potty train. So everybody in here who's posted how many things they've tried and how it's failed and how they've struggled, your baby can potty train too, okay? I've helped thousands of parents potty train their kids on the spectrum: pre-verbal, multiple diagnoses, Down syndrome with autism, ADHD with autism, global developmental delays, epilepsy. We've potty trained them all. Okay, so if that's the possibility, we have a 100% success rate for potty training in the masterclass, meaning when you come in, you leave with a potty trained child. And we've had the whole gamut from 2 to 31 potty trained in there. And I want to share this story with you too, because this is Safety Swim. On the left was Safety Swim. On the right is Juliana today on her swim team. And I'll never forget this. There was a time in the middle of potty training, she got pee first. So she was able to land pee. She knew pee went in the toilet, right? We were struggling with poop. And a few times, like 1 week, we go to Safety Swim and she poops in the pool. And I'm like, okay, whatever, other kids have done it. So I knew what the routine was. When any child poops in the pool, all the other lessons, and your child too, has to get out. They have to clean the pool for 2 hours. They have to tell all the parents that were coming in to not come in, reschedule their appointments. The staff is kind of in limbo for 2 hours while the pool's being cleaned, right? So this happened the first week. I didn't think much of it. I'm like, all right, we're in the middle of potty training. She's just going to, whatever. We're just going to figure it out. And she does it again. That's week 2. She does it again, week 3. Now I'm starting to get like anxiety taking her to swim. I'm like trying to find reasons not to go. Week 4, she did it 5 weeks in a row. By the 5th week, everyone there who has the same set time as us, I'm having anxiety just sharing this with you, had the same time with us, knew it was her that was making the whole lesson stop. So I grabbed her, ran in there, grabbed her. As soon as they gave me the signal that she pooped again, and I ran into the bathroom and I shut the door. And I cried. And I waited for everybody to leave because I felt so bad that we had done this like more than a month now. She's disrupted this company and disrupted all of these other children to be able to swim. And I remember waiting for everybody to leave, getting her dressed in the bathroom, locking ourselves in there, listening to make sure all the parents were gone. And I came out and I apologized to the staff and I said, well, I'm going to figure this out. We're not going to come back until I figure this out. And I cried. And when I got home with my husband, I was hysterical. And I said, we're quitting swim. And we're never going back. And, once I calmed down and I really thought about it, I'm like, there's a reason why she's doing this in here. I need to understand why she's doing this, And I said, quitting is not going to solve for that. And I made a decision in calmness that next week when we go back, I'm going in the pool with her. Because you know what? This girl here, her teacher at the time, she didn't know the cues, right? But I'm in the midst of potty training. I know when she's holding it. I know when she's about to go. So I feel like I'm going to catch it better than she is. So I called the school. I said, listen, I'm going to go in the pool with her. I promise this won't happen again, right? Literally go in the pool with her and I'm watching. I'm just standing I'm like on the side of the pool, just watching. And she's doing the thing. And I saw whatever I saw. I think I saw a look or something. I grabbed her. I ran her out of the pool, brought her into the bathroom, and she pooped in the toilet at Safety Swim. And she never pooped in that pool again. Had that experience not had happened the way it did, had I quit, she wouldn't be that girl in that picture today. I want you guys to understand, like, we can put our head in the couch cushion with this shit and blame like autism that this can't happen. Or we could say, you know what? If she can hold it deliberately to shit in the pool so she doesn't have to shit in the toilet with me, then she can do it in the toilet too. Especially for my parents who have the stubborn children, right? I would call that stubborn too. She was waiting to poop in that pool. But I didn't give up. And because I didn't give up, she actually learned to swim. She might have never learned to swim and she'd never be on a swim team today. That's why I want you guys to understand every moment of every day is an opportunity to do something different. And had I not chosen to do something different, like quitting, which would have been so much easier, my humiliation would have been done because I'd never see any of these people again. It was so much more important that I chose the harder, social path here, right? To go in the pool like no other parent had to do and yank her out. And she learned, and she was fully potty trained after that. Now, another child. This is Mary. She was one of my first clients. Her son was 7 when we first started working together. He was diagnosed with autism while we were working together. She delayed it because she was having such a hard time with it. But I would say he was more on the moderate to severe side of the spectrum. He was pre-verbal and in diapers when we started working together. And within 2 weeks of working together, he was fully potty trained. And within a month, he was saying mama for the first time in meeting her. This is possible. Juliana's story is possible for all of your babies. Mary's son's story is possible for your babies too. Which leads me to potty secret number 2. The steps to potty training any child are the same. I'm going to read that one back again. The steps to potty training any child are the same. And these are my kids. These are the only pictures I could find from potty training because it wasn't like a glamorous experience with me for Juliana. But I remember with Cody, I would visualize what it would be like to have him walking around in his little undies and how wonderful that would be. And that, the experience in the middle was rough, and I wanted a different experience with my son. And it was. I didn't expect perfection. He got pee first, then he got poop. Then he lost it because I was teaching him to sit to pee at home, and they were teaching him to stand at school. So next thing I was peeing in the yard. But then he came back in, he started peeing in the toilet again. It's potty training, not potty perfection. And if I have those expectations that it should be done in a certain time, or it's more difficult because of autism, then I'm going to get that kind of experience. But if I look at like what it is about, I asked you guys this in the beginning, what is it about this, that they're your children, that makes you smile? And everything that everyone said was all of the things that show us that they're capable of potty training. They're capable of being silly with us. They're capable of potty training. If they're capable of filling us with kisses to get what they want, then we can get them to potty train. All right, so potty secret number 2, the way to potty train all children is the same. And potty training is actually simple, but it's not easy. And I want to help you to understand the difference between the two. Easy means something's achieved without effort. I don't have to do anything. It just comes to me like second nature. It's natural, right? But simple means that the steps to potty training are uncomplicated and easily understood, but it requires effort and commitment. One of the things we were talking about tonight, why you think it hasn't worked, is I haven't made the commitment to it. I haven't been consistent with it. And then I asked you, we're going to come back to this with potty secret number 3. If I guaranteed you in 2 weeks this would be done, would you be consistent? And you said yes. It's required if we want to potty train our kids. And these are all the signs that you need. And these, basically, it's like the cliff notes to a potty training experience for all children. Number 1 is they have to show potty readiness signs. And I preface this too, because some of our kids in here are older, and we might be thinking that we don't have potty readiness signs or the window of that passed, right? But it's not the case. It may just be that, like, well, I always say past the age of 4, they're ready to potty train, whether they're showing them or not. But potty readiness signs could be waking up dry, taking their diaper off, asking for a diaper, holding their pee until you put the pull-up on. These are signs that they're ready to potty train. Going long periods of time with a dry diaper and then it fills. These are signs that they're ready to potty train. The second thing you need to see is they need to be free of any gastro issues such as loose stool, diarrhea, or painful constipation. Now, I'm not talking about run-of-the-mill constipation. When I potty trained both of my kids, they both became hot constipated, meaning that they used to poop every day, and now that even to this day, they poop once every couple of days. That's not like constipation that would stop this from happening. I'm talking about where like their belly's distended, their behavior is changing, they're in discomfort. That's the type of constipation that we want to resolve to get them potty trained. And I would even say that you could pee train a child that has that kind of constipation, or even pee train a child with loose stool or diarrhea. But I want to see you get from start to finish the fastest and easiest as possible. The simplest, I should say, right? Number 3, they have to be willing to sit on a potty. You need that to potty train. They got to be motivated to go with rewards. And I'm not just talking about any rewards. It's got to be like, I do anything to have access to this. I'm sure we're going to talk about this in coaching tonight. You need a schedule to go, and this goes for all children. By the way, 1 through 5 go for all children. You need to put them on a schedule once they realize pee and poop go here. They got to be out of diapers or pull-ups. Okay. By the way, diapers and pull-ups are the same thing. Sometimes they'll say, okay, your son's in diapers. No, we're in pull-ups. Pull-ups and diapers are the same thing. It's a lateral move. Down, if they can still soil themselves, not eliminating the toilet, it's a diaper. Okay. And if we're going to be committed to potty training, we can't dip our toe in. We've got to do full submersion. We've got to be committed, right? Remember the last couple of slides ago, right? Potty training requires consistency and commitment. When we're potty training, you have to have a lot of reps in attempting to go, right? You have to have them practicing a lot. They have to be trying to go a lot. You also they have to be reminded when to go. By the way, again, just as a friendly reminder, these are the steps to train any child. They have to be reminded when to go. And then number 9, which is hopefully potty training completion, is they're able to tell us when they have to go, and or the child starts using the potty 100% independently. They're wearing underwear, nighttime naps, full time, and now they're able to either get up and go when they feel nature call, or they can tell you and you can take them to the bathroom. Okay? The skills you need to potty train your child. Number 1, you need to be consistent. You need to be committed, guys. Number 2, you need to be committed, consistent and committed, right? I guess consistency is consistency, I guess, and committed will go hand in hand, but I need to make sure that I'm not just committed to potty training, but I'm not doing it all the time, right? That's not being consistent, right? I'm committed to potty training, but I only want to do it on weekends. No, it doesn't work like that. We're committed to potty training. We're going to be consistent in making it a requirement of this household. And I'm going to be consistent in how many times I take them. Number 3, you need to be willing to clean up accidents. This is what it's about. I love it. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, that I was just going to go potty train her and she was just like, maybe pee a little bit on the seat and be done. That was not what we had. That's not what it's supposed to look. It's not potty perfection. It's potty training. And if Caitlin's here, she'd laugh because we always say this amongst ourselves. It's a big joke. Yes. Number 4, you need to be in a winning or learning mentality. I think this is one of the biggest things. And we're going to bring this into the secret number 3. A lot of times when I was doing this with Juliana and we were missing the mark, sometimes I'd miss it by like a second. And she'd poop her pants and I'd get so mad and I'd just be like, oh, this sucks. We're not getting it. And thinking that thought was really shitty because each time I was getting closer and closer. There are no fails in potty training. We're either learning or we're winning. But if I see it as a fail, if I keep biting my lip and I'm so frustrated and I'm pounding my fists, I'm not going to want to keep doing this. I'm going to want to quit. And that's the only true fail of an autism parent, is quitting on your kids. You can't do that. The reason I have a 100% success rate in the masterclass is when you show up, you stay showing up, and it's done. Potty training is done. But I can't force you to the river. You got to come. You got to come with me. You got to help me to help you. And that's how you have to be when you're thinking about potty training. I'm committed to this. I'm going to be consistent. I know accents are a part of the package, and I'm okay with that, even if it means the accent is them smearing it on their face or on their wall. And I'm not failing anymore. I'm either learning until I'm winning. Okay? And my master classes can attest for this. We take steps we keep moving one step closer and closer and closer to the finish line. We're never not doing it. And that's what you guys got to think too. Which leads us to potty secret number 3. You are your child's number 1 resource to getting training done. Say it again. You, their parent, are the number 1 resource, the most valuable person, the best person to get potty training done. Now, this is a mug I saw at my doctor's office. I always thought it was just such a bullshit mug. I almost threw it through the, I almost threw it on the ground when I saw it, because he had it up on the reception desk and said, please don't confuse your Google search with my medical degree. And I laughed and I told the receptionist, I said, tell the doctor not to mistake his 120-minute lecture for me living this life with this child 24/7. And I say this because I think a lot of us, when the autism diagnosis comes, we kind of like let our fucking intuition fly out the window. Like, we don't show up as the parents we intended to be when we were carrying this baby in our tummy, when we were holding them in our arms in the hospital or in the nursery, right? When autism comes, we drop our identity as their parent. And then we start seeking external sources because they must know best, because I know shit about autism. But when we do this, we're giving away all of our power. You're the most powerful person in your child's life because nobody knows them better than you. And how many times have you heard a doctor or teacher tell you something that is wrong for yourself, for somebody you know, and for your child? I've had it happen to me, for myself, for both of my kids. They're serving a mass amount of people, right? They take their education. I'm not shit canning doctors. There are a few that I really love, right? I'm not shit canning it. But what they can't take into consideration with their medical degree is my knowing this child to the bone. And that's why you are the most valuable person. You're the person that can get this done. You're the person that's most vested to get this done. No one knows your child better than you. So, if you're the key to getting potty training done, then why is your child still in diapers? Now, remember that question I asked you at the beginning of this presentation. I said, why do you think what you tried hasn't worked? And I created this slide over a week ago. It's like magic. I feel like a magician. These are the reasons why you think that your child isn't potty trained. And a lot of these, if not all of these, were said in the chat tonight. You might believe that potty training hasn't happened because they have autism, that they don't talk. It hasn't clicked. My child has a learning disability. My child has brain damage. This is where she is, and we adapt to where she's at, not the other way around. My son has no desire to learn. The readiness window passed. Both parents work full time and we can't be consistent. It's a mystery to me. She's not ready. He's locked up. She doesn't understand what's supposed to do. I don't know, right? She's just used to wearing a diaper. He's comfortable in his ways. How many of you guys is your reason here? Right? They're stubborn. I wrote this before a week ago, and all of you said all of these here tonight. This is why you think potty training isn't working. But the real reason, when you think that potty training isn't working, this is really what your belief has become. You have those thoughts that came on that slide before this. And when I think those slides over and over and over, right, they're thoughts that I think about my situation. And if I think those thoughts over and over and over, a belief is just a thought on repeat. I've believed it a lot of my life. I've thought that thought many times, so now it becomes a belief. It's almost like burned into your identity. So when you have those types of thoughts, your beliefs turn into your child needs to be verbal to potty train, your child's too severe on the spectrum to potty train, your child won't sit on a potty so they can't potty train, your child doesn't care if they're dirty or not interested in going, and that's why they can't potty train. Your child will hold pee and poop for hours until a pull-up is put back on so they can't be potty trained. And you don't know how to teach a child with autism how to potty train. But, having some technical difficulties here. This is why it's really not working. It's not any of those things on that sheet, right? We just went through the list of all the things you guys had said to me earlier tonight. We went through the list that I created a week ago. but it has nothing to do with anything that's there. The real reason why it's not working are for two basic reasons. Number one, potty training has become optional in your home. I'm going to explain this in a minute. And the second reason it's not happening is your child doesn't see any value in wanting to go on the toilet, and they're following your lead as their parent. So what does it mean to say potty training isn't optional in your home? Well, because of course you all want your kid potty trained, but if I'm having all of these shitty thoughts about why it can't happen, I'm not committed. I'm not consistent. I might not be trying at all. I may be saying I'm trying, but I'm really half-assing it, right? But the reason I'm showing up this way is very understandable, because you have these thoughts. We call them thought errors in the program. There are all these beliefs that you have about your child that you've been thinking for a long, long time. And it's making it so now, like potty training, I'd like it to happen, but I don't know if I believe it can happen. But really, your child's following that lead. And if you're not going to put them to the test, they're not going to rise to the occasion. To them, life is great in a diaper. I like the way things are. I don't see the value in learning any other way. And if you don't think I can do it, I'm not going to, if I have the option to not do it, I'm going to opt to do what I do now. This works for me. I have no desire to learn any other way. Okay? I'm having some technical stuff today. Okay, so why it's really not working? Because if you have thought errors about your kid, you half-ass your potty training, and you stop and start, or you don't even attempt it. Autism does not make potty training more difficult. It's your shitty thoughts about the diagnosis that do. I always thought with Juliana, I'm like, I never saw autism as less. I always saw it as like, her brain just works on a different frequency. And if I could learn to communicate with that brain on that frequency, I could teach it anything. I never saw autism. I just see autism as different. It's not less. She's totally capable of doing what all the other children can. I just got to figure out the way to get through to her. And if you're the key to get potty training done, right? You're the secret. You're secret number 3. Then I need you to stop believing shitty things about your kid. And if your child wasn't on the autism spectrum, I love this question. And I want everybody to answer in the chat. If your child was not on the autism spectrum, would it be acceptable for them to not learn how to use the toilet in your home? No, fuck no. And I say this for communication too, because I'll have a lot of parents who will say, oh, they say words, but they don't really use them functionally. And I'm like, okay, well, how do they get their needs? Well, they hand lead me to the kitchen. Okay, well, would it be, if you didn't have autism, would it be allowed that they not talk to you in your home? Yeah, fuck no, not a chance. That's right. So why are we giving these babies a pass? They're capable of so much more. Just from everything that you guys said in the chat, these babies can do so much more than they're doing, and you're not putting them to the test because you think autism is less. You think autism makes it that I can't do this. Autism is the neutral circumstance of life. It happened to us. It happened to all of us, right? I didn't sign up for this. You guys didn't sign up for it. It's a circumstance beyond our control. We do a lot of mindset work in the program. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But if I can see autism as neutral, like it's not autism that's the problem. It's my shitty thoughts about it. And then when I have shitty thoughts about it, it makes me feel like crap. And then when I feel like crap, I'm going to take the action of potty training from a space where I'm not even sure they can do it. And then that's where we all fail. And it's the number one thing everyone comes to me with. It's the number one thing I solve, because I don't think that about your babies. I know every single one of them. You pack their bag and you drop them at the front of my house. There'd be no doubt in my mind I'd get them potty trained. But I got to get you believe in that now too. And that's what we're going to do with the Potty Power Parents Mindset. This is Juliana, and I want to talk to you about your brains, because we all have the same exact brains. I know you all think everybody's brain is special and unique. They're not. They all work the same. All of our brains present 60,000 thoughts to us a day, and most of them are shitty. And the reason why our brain presents us 60,000 thoughts a day, we don't even hear most of them, but most of the ones we do hear are shitty. It's not because your brain is broken. It's not because your brain is a sadist, right? Your brain's job is not to keep you happy or give you what you want. Your brain's job is to keep your body safe. And the way the brain keeps everything safe is to make sure it says things to you to keep you in the cave. So even though you're here and you desperately want to have change in your life, you desperately want this baby potty trained, or communicating or stopping their problem behaviors and having the big three, your brain is like, no, no, I know you don't like the diapers and shit, but we're surviving here. This is safe. You stay in the cave. And one of the gifts and the pain of being human beings is we can hear our own thoughts. But the pain is that most of us don't question any of the thoughts our brains present. All of those reasons why you guys said you couldn't potty train your kids or why it wasn't working are thought errors. They're not true. All you need is consistency, commitment, right? If I'm consistent and I'm committed, potty training is no longer optional in my home, and I'm going to show them a reason why they want to do it. I'm going to give my kid a reason. He doesn't see the value in it because I don't see the value in it. But if I'm not seeing the value in it because all my brain keeps doing is feeding me shitty thoughts, and as a human species, as far as I know, we're the only species that can hear our own thoughts, I don't have to get behind every fucking one of them. If you do that, it's like letting your brain run around. It's like a toddler running around your head with scissors, stabbing everything. And that's the life you're living now. The gift of being a human being is that we can choose what to get behind, what thoughts we want to get behind that are going to support us and move us forward. And we can choose what we want to toss. And this is kind of just explaining me in a nutshell. I wasn't born this way. I used to think people could be born this way. Like I'm born like my husband would say, oh, you must have been born this way. And that's not how it works. When I was a kid, I was very shy. I was young for the grade I was in. I was super shy. It took me a while to kind of academically keep up with the class, right? And I was bullied from as little kindergarten probably till middle school. And I remember thinking all through that time, like, I wish somebody would just come and save me. I'm getting tortured every fucking day at school, coming home crying every day. And I know teachers see this. Why won't they stop this? Like, this is just wrong. Somebody should come in and just save me. And this went on for years. And I remember being in biology class. I'll never forget it. I was sat next to my biggest bully for the last 3 years, and he starts making fun of me. And I've had that same thought again, like, why isn't somebody stopping this? Why isn't somebody coming to like swoop me in and save me? And I remember thinking, all of a sudden out of nowhere, this thought came flashing into my face, like, no one's coming. It has to be you. And it was the first time I ever stood up to that bully, and he never fucked with me again. In fact, nobody really fucked with me again after that. I learned that I could be the exception to the rule. I could be my own savior. And not only did that help me in the bullying scenario, there were so many life adversities that I just started to step into this identity of being somebody who's the exception to the rule, a master problem solver. I could solve for any problem, even if I had zero experience in it. So when I had Juliana, right, by that time from middle school to 35 when I had her, I was in that identity, deep into that identity. I had lots of years of practice being there. So when the autism diagnosis came 2 years later when I was 37, at first I saw autism like maybe you all saw it. And I'm dating myself because there was this movie in the 80s with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman called Rain Man. And that's all I fucking knew about autism. This guy had to be institutionalized. He'd never live a normal life. When autism came to us, I thought this was going to be our life. I thought my life was over and her life was over too. But even when I felt that, I've had that knee-jerk thought that you all had. By that time in my life, I was practicing the belief that I could create the exception to the rule. I could be the exception to the rule. And by extension, Juliana would be the exception to the rule. Which, by the way, are the thoughts I choose to stand behind. I choose to believe about myself because those are the thoughts that have gotten me, that helped me survive till this moment. And I choose to believe this about myself every day. And I need you guys to start believing different things about yourself and different things about your kids if you want to get them potty trained, you want to get them communicating, and you want to stop their problem behaviors. You've got to be this exception, not the rule. It's why Juliana is where she is today. It's why all of my parents in my masterclass are going to have babies that have the life like Juliana today. And it's so funny because when I was going through this with Juliana in the first year of autism, we were in early intervention at the house. And I just assumed all parents thought this way. But when I entered the special education world, I realized many don't. And it's the biggest fall from grace for our babies, because if you're their number one person, right, your secret three, you're their number one person. If you don't believe in them, who's gonna? It has to be you. No one is coming. Same thing as what my head said to me in the middle of getting bullied that last time. No one's coming. It has to be you. And I can't give you the path to potty training tonight if you've already given up on a limitless future for your baby. And you can't change anything for your child if you don't believe that you can create change for yourself. It's the invisible umbilical cord, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Fucking boss in, fucking boss out. You can't change that autism is here, but you can decide how you want to show up for yourself and your child. And only when you do that can you change the reality for yourself and your baby. What are your thoughts around your child learning to potty train? Do you think they're capable of potty training? Do you think you're capable of teaching them? Does autism mean diapers for life in your mind? Does autism mean cancer to you? Because it's not cancer. Juliana's going to live an amazing life and have autism. We have so many examples of that from graduate families in the masterclass, from people I've worked with. This is possible for your baby. But it's only possible if you can get your head out of your ass and stop thinking shitty thoughts about your kids. The number one reason stopping your child from potty training are your thoughts about it. That's it. We fix that, great. Let's fucking go. And I don't want anybody to have this is a judgment-free zone, right? I love having these very honest conversations. I don't do my webinars half-assed. I go all out. What you see here is exactly how I am. And the reason why I want to be that way with you is because I need you to fucking move. I really need you guys to move for your babies. I see this work as life or death because nobody's going to champion for them like you guys. And I don't say this from a judgment standpoint. I love you. I love your babies. I'm not their mom. You are. I'm not their caretaker. You are. So I got to have you. I want to build you up so that you come at it like I would come at it if it was my cub. And awareness is always a gift, because if nobody's ever talked to you like this, now you can say that you can't ever say that nobody ever told you. And if you are the gatekeeper to the success that they're possible of, this is the way to open the door. It's the way to instantly course correct. I can course correct at any time. I can take radical responsibility from this point forward, to show up differently, to think different things about my child, to make potty training as done in your mind as it is in mine. Your thoughts are creating your current results of potty training. So let's fucking change them. All right. Thinking needs to be setting yourself and your child up for success when it comes to potty training. This is what masterclass is all about. It's not just about the tactical. I got gold tactical, but if you don't fucking believe, my tactical goes to shit. You waste my tactical. I need a mind that's believing, committed, confident, consistent. This is going to happen. Potty training is no longer optional in my home. And I always say for parents who are shaky, all right, I want to do this. I want to work with you. But I'm really I don't know where to stand. Where do I stand first? And I say, the first place you stand is you presume confidence. For all of the things you said that makes you smile about your baby, those are the reasons why this can happen. You start there and then we'll help you along the way. Your thoughts need to be in alignment with the results you want for potty training, always. That's why all of the tactical things I was doing with Juliana were right, but my brain was in the fucking gutter. Had I just had a different thought about it, a different expectation, saw it as done, I would have been fine. Somebody had said, which is probably what it took maybe 3 or 4 weeks for her to finally get pee down, that's how long it was going to take. I would have cooled my fucking jets. But that's the problem. You can't do it. You can't be into this I'll see it when I believe it, right? I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it really means I don't believe it's going to happen. Unless I'm proved wrong. That's not what you have to do. As a master problem solver, I was that master problem solver from middle school to when she got diagnosed, I was already in the identity of I make shit happen. And that's how you have to go into this. All right. So now that we know that all thoughts are optional, you get to choose your thinking to get new emotions, new actions, and new results, which is exciting. And I help parents like you to think intentionally to get results you want for your children with autism. And the results, you start showing up like this, child's going to be more compliant. You'll be more confident that you can teach them anything. You'll be less stressed, and you and your child have more freedom. Most importantly, while you're all here tonight, your child will be potty trained. You start thinking about things differently. You start seeing yourself as the most important person. You have everything you need. Your child will be potty trained. You just got to start believing it's possible. And that's my potty power class. But I want to share with you, and if it's all right with you guys, just let me know in the comments. I want to share with you how we create the 3 pillars of success to get potty training. Is that great for you guys? You guys all right with that? Yes. All right. Awesome. And I hope tonight's been helpful for you. I'm going to do Q&A, but I want to talk about what it takes to get the 3 pillars for success. So you remember the big three, right? These are the three skills that every child needs for a chance at a life of independence, right? Communication, problem behavior, no problem behavior. We have to have communication, no problem behaviors, and they've got to be potty trained. You need 3 pillars for success in yourself to make that happen. You can be your child's #1 resource, even if you think you're not technically qualified. All you need is knowledge, belief, and support. Having these pillars guarantees success. So the first one, knowledge. This is where you learn the tactical steps of what it takes to potty train a child. And you're going to meet them where they're at. So if we have a child that's scared of even walking into the bathroom, then that's where our work starts. If we have a child that's scared to sit on a toilet, then that's where our work starts. If we have a child that'll pee but won't poop, then that's where our work starts. And having the knowledge of knowing the tactical steps to get that going, that's what's the first pillar for success in helping your baby with autism with anything, not just potty training, anything. The second thing is what we talked a lot about tonight, belief. We want you to have belief in yourself, that you're capable of doing this, that your baby is capable of learning. It's sky's the limit. As long as the sky's the limit is the roof is where you believe. Where you stop believing, that's where the roof is. And that's the life you're living now. I want you to think way bigger than what you have now. They're capable of so much more. They're waiting for you. I always say that to my parents who were really shaky when they started. I'm like, don't worry, your baby's ready to potty train whenever you are. You've got to have that belief in place. And the third pillar of success that you need to help your baby with autism live a thriving, healthy, happy, independent life is support. You can't do this alone. You got to have a tribe around you, a community.